All right, and we are live. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome to our live watch along commentary thing to Black Christmas from 1974. I am joined with my special guest, Anthony from Anthony's Horror and More. Say hello to everyone.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Yeah, I'm happy to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me. I really appreciate it, man.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. I had the stream open in the background and I heard everything come back and I was confused
Oh
for a
yeah, you're
second.
relay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, but
happy.
yes. Yeah. So we'll give everyone a few minutes to join and get Black Christmas 1974 booted up, and then we'll do a countdown and click play and watch the movie together. So, yeah. So, Anthony, tell us a little bit about, I don't know, your general thoughts on Black Christmas before we get into watching it.
Oh well, you know what, man? For me, it's just it's one of the many classics from the '70s. I love the '70s vibe of of horror films. Um, what do you got? You got The Exorcist. You have Halloween. You have the Hills Have Eyes. There's just so many good '70s classic horror films. I just love the feel of it. There's something eerie about like the graininess and the just that time period. I don't know, I just love it. I love the whole aesthetic, the look. But Black Christmas itself is just I it's honestly my favorite one of all the Christmas horror films, and there's a lot of good ones out there, but I think it's just because the film takes itself very seriously, and you're just never quite sure what's going on. Who's this crazy guy on the phone making these saying absurd things, all these crazy things, and
Yeah.
it's like what's going on? Like who is this? And it's just creepy. It's I love Margot Kidder's in it. She's great. She's really funny, and there's just a lot of good actresses in it, and it tackles some heavy subject matter too. You have abortion in the film. It tackles that whole thing. I mean, and you think abortion's a big issue now. Imagine back in the '70s. That was just like probably unheard of to talk about that. Like, so I give the movie a lot of credit, man. It does a lot right. And it's got some cool kills and stuff, but the director actually said that he purposefully toned down the kills because he wanted it to be more of like inside your mind kind of a thing. He wanted you to imagine like he figured whatever's in your head is a lot worse than he could actually show on the screen. So so you do get some kills like that are on camera, but then they kind of go off camera, so you can't quite see what's going on. And I like that. I like that idea. What about you? Tell me what do you think about Black Christmas 1974?
Yeah, it's one of my favorite horror movies of all time. Certainly my favorite horror movie of the 70s, which I'm more of into like horror movies from the 80s, like kind of the 80s slashers is kind of, I guess, my favorite subgenre of horror or the era of horror that I like the most personally. But yeah, there's a few movies from the 70s that I love, like obviously Black Christmas, John Carpenter's Halloween, Alien. I love all three of those. I really like The Omen,
Oh, I
The
love
Exorcist.
it.
Like,
Yeah, that's another great one. Oh, good.
yeah,
Alien's a great one too. I love Alien. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah,
Those are great.
hmm
There's
yeah,
so many classics, right? Do you know what I mean when I say like the '70s is just like it's just like all the classic horror films and so many
hmm
now, play off of I'm not saying copying straight up or anything, but definitely play. How many Exorcist movies have we gotten since the first Exorcist? Like a million.
yeah,
How many creepy hillbilly, deformed, whatever guys have we gotten since The Hills Have Eyes? You know, Wes Craven's The Hills Have Eyes. Like ugly,
Wrong
wrong
Turn
turn,
franchise.
the whole Wrong Turn franchise, right? The crazy, deformed hillbilly type guys, you know, or yeah, and there's just, you know, they all started the trends. You know, so I love the 70s horror movies. Yeah, I don't know. So many good ones.
But yeah, it's probably my favorite horror movie from the 70s. It's my favorite Christmas horror movie for sure. And I think it's pretty underrated. Like, yeah, not a whole lot of people besides like horror fans really know about Black Christmas, and it kind of like predates a lot of like the um other slasher movies. Like a lot of the credit, I guess, to starting slasher movies is kind of aimed towards Halloween, but I mean, Black Christmas is 4 years older than Halloween, and like Texas Chainsaw Massacre came out the same year, so it's like maybe some of the credit should go to Black Christmas and Texas Chainsaw Massacre, or even Psycho in 1960.
Yeah,
But
or Peeping Tom is another one from 1960.
mhm,
Yeah, Peeping Tom. Yeah, no, you're right. And yeah, by the way, yeah, you know, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 1974, another excellent, you know,
mhm.
you know, another one that like how many, you know, Chainsaw Massacre films have we got now in that franchise since then? It's insane. 10?
Nine,
Yeah,
nine.
you know, we just got the Netflix one, you know,
Mhm.
right? That was this year. That was super early this
Yeah,
year, right?
that was a middle of February, so a long time ago.
Yeah, but you know they just keep coming. But you know people love Leatherface. I mean he's an
Mhm.
icon. That first film feels like kind of like you're watching like a snuff film or something. Like
Yeah.
it feels so real, almost like a
It
found footage film. You know what I mean?
yeah. Kinda, what you said earlier about, like, the '70s having, like, this grainy type feel, like, definitely Texas Chainsaw Massacre has that grainy feel, like,
Oh
intentionally too, it adds to, like, the kinda gritty and disgusting nature of
yeah,
the Sawyer family.
exactly. Right. Yep. Yeah, just you know that vibe. It's just a different feel, man. But every decade has that. The '80s has their own feel,
Mhm.
and the music. The music from the '80s is another thing that's just so iconic to the '80s. Like it just doesn't get much better than that '80s music. You know that you get with like some of the Friday the 13th films and the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. I mean, you get some really iconic like rock songs and stuff from that time in those movies, and it's great. And then yeah, each decade really. The '90s has too music and you know because that's when I grew up with all the '90s slashers. Like I know
Yeah, like the Scream era
Urban
stuff.
and yes, exactly. Like those are the ones that I grew up with. Because I was born in '86, so the '90s were kind of, even though I rented a lot of, the old school horror movies from Blockbuster and Family Video back in the day, but the movies that I grew up with were the '90s slashers, so those have like a special place in my heart.
Sure, yeah.
What about you? What movies did you grow up watching? Like, what are your?
Uh,
I know you're pretty young, so you know
yeah,
like maybe The Conjuring is kind of like in your
um,
wheelhouse.
kind
That
kinda.
yeah.
Honestly, I didn't get into horror movies until, like, 2 or 3 years ago, like, so I don't have any, like, a whole lot of nostalgia for horror movies, I guess. I just didn't watch a whole lot until 3 or 4 years ago, and now it's, like, one of my favorite genres of all time. I've, like, watched all, like, the major franchises and stuff, but,
Oh, that's interesting. So you only got into horror a couple of years ago. So yeah, not having that natural nostalgia built in. That's a interesting perspective to come from. Like so what are some of your favorite horror movies? Because you don't have the nostalgia factor. So I'd love to hear what are some of your favorite horror movies?
just in general,
Yeah, just in general, just hit me with a few right off the top.
favorite is John Carpenter's The Thing, um, the Evil Dead remake. Um, It 2017, The Terminator, Black Christmas, the Friday the 13th remake, Shining, Halloween 2018, Halloween, John Carpenter's original, Candyman.
So look at you, man. See, that's really cool.
Yeah.
You've only been watching horror for a couple of years, and you love a lot of classics, a lot of like the 80s, 70s, but you do love some of the new stuff too. But that just goes to show you how great those movies are because you're like basically brand new to the horror scene. I mean, just a couple of years in, and you're a young guy, and you love a lot of the classics still. You love the 19
hmm
Black Christmas. You said original John Carpenter's Halloween. You said Terminator. I mean, you listed off The Thing. You know, I mean, that's great. I like to hear that. It's interesting to me, like listening, especially people that are just getting into horror, what they're into. So that's cool.
hmm
Really cool. So it sounds like you're a slasher guy, though. You listed off,
Yeah, mainly.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably my favorite horror subgenre, slashers. Yeah.
Yeah,
What
I'm right.
about
That
what
now
about what about you? Like some of your favorite horror movies?
you listed them all. I mean, yeah, those are, I love the Child's Play. I love the first three Child's Play movies the best. I love Child's Play 1 through 3. Those are some of my favorites. I love
See
Scream.
the posters behind you.
Yeah, the posters, yeah, from Scream Factory. I put those up like a month ago.
Scream
Um,
Factory is awesome.
yeah, dude, yeah, they are. Um, yeah, so the Child's Play 1 through 3 are my favorites. I love the original Halloween. I love Scream 1996. The Thing, I'm right there with you with that. What else do I love? I'll be honest, dude. I really do love. I love Halloween because I grew up with them. Halloween H2O. I Know What You Did Last Summer, and like Urban Legend and those like slasher movies from the '90s. I love those movies. I do.
hmm
So much fun. I know they're kind of whatever, but I love them. You know, they're not perfect movies, but they're fun. They're so much damn fun. So I love those too. I also love horror anthology. Do you
Mm.
like Creep Show 2?
I haven't seen the Creep Show movies.
Yes, you got to get into um some of these horror anthology movies. They're so much fun. They really
I haven't seen many horror anthologies, to be honest. Like I've seen
oh,
let me try thinking. Yeah, Trick or Treat. Seen
that's a
Trick or
great.
Treat. And
Yeah.
then I've seen VHS 94 and 99. Otherwise, I'm not sure if I've seen
Ooh,
outside of those
watch
any
the
other Jim Johnsons.
VHS, man. The original VHS and VHS 2 are really creepy and atmospheric. You would like those. Watch the original VHS and VHS 2. I think you'd have a fun time with those. Those are really creepy ones.
Yeah,
Uh,
I
oh,
had
yeah, go ahead.
I had a really good time with VHS 94. I thought that was really good and really creepy. That one was. Didn't care for 99 all that much, but
I gotta watch them. I haven't seen 94 or 99 yet. I'll have to check those out. I hear good things about 94 though. I gotta check it out. It's got that Rat Man monster in it, right?
that shit creeped me out.
Yeah, I've seen images of that creature. So, that makes me want to watch it even more because that thing looks disgusting. It looks disgusting. Whatever that creature is, it looks.
Yeah, and I'm not one person that usually gets creeped out by horror movies all that much. I just watch them because I think they're awesome to like see this stuff happen. But for some reason, I chose to watch it like late at night, like laying in bed, so I'm like trying to fall asleep, and it's like so tense, and then like this rat man creature just appears. I'm like, what the fuck am I watching? Like,
Oh my god, that's so gross. Yeah. I'll have to check that out just for Rat Man alone. But Tales from the Dark Side is another good horror anthology.
I've
And
heard of that one.
yeah, Scream Factory. And let me tell you something. I just bought that on physical media from Scream Factory when they did that Shocktober sale, and it actually came with the slipcover. So you
Nice. Yeah.
slipcover with it if you order from Scream Factory. And I love that's one of my favorite slipcovers. The artwork on that is really good. And then Body Bags, John Carpenter's Body Bags. Check that out too. That's really good.
Awesome. We got a few comments.
Oh yeah, please. Sorry.
Let's
Yeah.
check them out. Let's check them out, and then we will hop into our commentary.
All right.
We got Mike just dropping in to say, "Hey fellas, I'm heading to sleep. It's 12:34 a.m. here in the UK. Well,
Oh my god. Yeah.
hope you get a good night's sleep there, Mike.
Yeah,
That's
thanks for
very early. Yeah, thanks for
cool.
stopping by. Ethan, love
Hey.
the content. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much. Got Bob's Blu-rays. What up? Anthony sent me over here. I personally prefer the 06, but I'll hang out. Awesome.
What's up, Bob? Hey, thanks for joining us, Bob. I appreciate it. Bob's a busy guy, man. He's like out driving around for work and stuff right now, so that's really cool of him to pop in and say.
Yeah, it's always
He's-
appreciated. I've never seen the 06 version. I've only seen this one in the 2019, which
You know what? I've never seen the 06 version either. I got because it's so hard to find a copy of it physically. It's like out of print, and it's just very difficult to find a copy. So if you find a copy anywhere for cheap, definitely grab it because it's a tough one to get. And there's an unrated cut and a right. But yeah, I that's one. Yeah, Black Christmas 2006. I've got to check that out. Maybe it's on. I could probably watch the stream somewhere. I'm sure.
Yeah, you can probably stream it.
Yeah, but I definitely want to check that out because I hear a lot of people like that one.
Holland Oates. Hey guys, I'll be watching the 2019 version. I'm sure it's the same movie.
Oh
no.
No!
No.
What's going on, Holland? Stopping by, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Holland Oates is a really good dude too, man. He's one of those guys. He shows up all the time. You know, like when I'm streaming, you know, me and my buddies and stuff. Like Holland's always there. He's always commenting and everything. He's a really good dude.
Then we got Bob saying hi to Holland.
Yeah.
All right. So, you ready to start this?
Yeah, man. Yep. Let me just
all right
get this remote here, and
now, I'll do
the menu screen right now. Are you on the menu screen, or are you paused somewhere else?
I have it on streaming, so I just have.
Oh, you're streaming.
I just have to press play. Yeah.
Okay. Let me. So you're on streaming.
I'm at 0 seconds into the movie, so.
Okay, hold on. Let me hit play really quick. Let it go through this. Let me just get to at 0. Let's see. Okay, I'm there. The house is just coming up on mine. Like literally, there. You know, the sorority house or whatever is just. You know, so I'm right there. So probably 001 or something. You know, or 0001 or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ready?
Yep.
We'll do a countdown from 5, and then we'll press play and do our commentary, everyone. Okay. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play.
Okay. I waited a second because I figured it would probably. You see the house now, and then it says Black Christmas over on
okay.
Yeah,
I see that.
Yeah, I just waited like 1 second because I knew.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
I really like this Silent Night thing at the beginning. It's so like creepy.
It is, man.
Yeah.
I just love the look at it. You can already tell just by looking at it. Like you see the credits, you see that graininess on the house right there and everything, and you got the old school lights going around the trees and everything. Like, there's just something about the 70s, man. I don't know. There's something about it.
It's definitely got a vibe.
Yep. And it's interesting too. I was reading about, I guess, when they first aired this on like, you know, network TV, I guess it was around the same time. It was poor timing, I guess. Ted Bundy was going around, killing people and stuff, doing his crazy Ted Bundy thing, and
Yeah.
um, they made the network pull the movie down because they thought it was like it had like maybe inspired him or other people to go out and kill, because they caught him like right around the same time or something. It was like right when, because he had literally just gone and killed some women in like a dorm room, like a dorm, like a like sorority house or one of those type of places, and yeah, so it was just really bad timing, from what I was reading, because there were like angry mothers calling in, pull it down, it's
Yeah.
making people go out and kill women, and it's like, I don't know.
I love the POV shots of Billy throughout this whole movie. Kind of, I don't know. I would say it kind of reminds me of John Carpenter's Halloween, but like I don't know. I guess John Carpenter's Halloween reminds me of this because this is older.
Yeah, yeah, you're right, those POV shots especially, yeah.
I also like the way how like the POVs are like slightly tilted sometimes.
Yes. Yep.
So a little bit of unease. I don't know. It's just like a little bit of unease with just like how the camera's not perfectly straight.
Yeah, man, Bob Clark did a fantastic job directing this. He does. He makes you feel uneasy throughout the film. You're right, just by like how he tilts the camera around and everything. You're right. Yeah, and he doesn't waste any time either. He just kind of gets right
Yeah.
into
Yeah, just right into it.
it. Right? Like you're literally basically you're opening the movie with like the killer's perspective, like him looking into the house through the windows and all that stuff. So that's kind of interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't waste any time.
No, it just gets right
It's
in.
a fairly short movie too, only like an hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah, which I like that. I think that's the perfect for like a slasher movie, especially. I think you want to keep it to like a tight, like hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes. You know, don't overstay your welcome too much.
Yeah. One of the kind of like I guess Terrifier 2, the 2 hour 40 minute something slasher movie, or was it? I don't know.
That was
A
like
long
hour
slasher.
15 minutes, I think, something like that. It's
It
great.
was long, like probably the longest slasher I've ever seen.
Yeah, Art the Clown. This is just
Also,
a
just like
creepy edit.
yeah, like that horse there, like just
It's like what? I guess they actually. I was reading this too. I was reading some like fun facts, but I guess they actually shot this in a real house. It's not like a set or anything. It's actually a house. So I thought that was pretty cool too, because a lot of times they'll just do like the exterior shots, and then the inside will be like different
yeah, and
sets.
they'll like yeah, and they'll
Film.
like do different sides. Yeah.
Yeah, they actually filmed this inside the house though, so I thought that was interesting. And I was also reading that the majority of the cast and everybody got along pretty well, but they did say that Margot Kidder, I guess, the lady that they just showed there drinking, she's the one that gets drunk and gets
Oh yeah,
um
pulls the
she
prank on the police officer.
yeah, yeah, exactly. I guess she was a little bit distant. She was the only one in the cast that was a little bit distant or whatever. But everybody else was like happy, having fun, getting along really well. But I guess she was just a little bit distant. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Maybe she was worried. Maybe she didn't think the film was going to do very well or something. Because it's a horror movie. So you know,
It's kind of, it is kind of like a cult classic, I guess. I don't know if it was appreciated as much as it is now as it was in 74, but it's
yeah.
kind of yeah, it's kind of got like a cult following right nowadays.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I like how Margot Kidder, she's just like basically drunk throughout this entire movie. always,
Yeah.
always drinking.
Like Uh, I don't remember her name, but like the one lady that like hides the bottles everywhere.
Yes, yeah,
Over, yeah,
the dorm mother.
yeah, dorm mother. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, yeah. She's got bottles stashed all over the place. That is funny. Yeah, I actually last year I watched this with my mom. She watched it for the first time. I believe it was her first time watching it. And she liked it too.
Yeah, I just saw this like last week in the theater, and I took my dad. He had never seen the movie before.
Hmm.
It was pretty fun when it got to this part, the
Oh,
phone calls.
oh my god.
But
I've got
I didn't tell him anything about it.
oh no. Is your dad into horror movies at all?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
good. Cool. Well then yeah, so he knows.
I did the same thing with Terrifier 2. I didn't tell him what it was. Never saw the first Terrifier. Just like, hey, do you want to go see this Terrifier 2 movie with me? He's like,
Oh man.
sure.
You took him to go see Terrifier too?
Yeah,
Oh
and
my
he had never seen a trailer, no poster, nothing, knew nothing about it. It was
that's
so
just like
great.
that's like a bloodbath. Holy crap. That's funny. You said you saw this Black Christmas 1974. You saw this in theaters?
Yeah, they're doing like we have Alamo Draft Houses where I'm at, and they do like a bunch of older movies they show them.
Oh, that's awesome, man. That's so cool. Very cool. Yeah, some of my theaters by me, they'll do a similar thing where they'll show some older movies, if it's around like their anniversary date.
Yeah, yeah.
Like they were showing Elf and they were showing the what was it? Christmas Vacation, the Jim Carrey's Grinch. They were showing like a whole bunch of different Christmas movies. Because it's around that time, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
But I wish they were showing some horror Christmas movies like Krampus and stuff like that. He is, man.
I love these phone calls. They're so messed up, but they're so awesome at the same time.
What's
Yeah.
interesting? Phone calls. I don't know if you know this, but um, him talking on the other end, it was actually all done in post production. So
I feel like I've heard that before.
yeah, so it's actually Bob Clark is talking to them right now, and he's just saying threatening things to them. Like he's just saying threatening, scary things to them, and they're reacting to Bob Clark, the director. But they're not actually reacting to like the lines that we're hearing now because that was all done in post production. So they're not reacting to that exact dialogue that we're listening to. So I thought that was interesting. They're just Bob Clark's just over there in the background, just like saying random threats to him, or just and they're just reacting. It's just yeah, Bob Clark on the phone. I really feel bad for this lady here that gets picked off.
Yeah.
Because she's not even she's like the nicest one out of all of them, you know what I mean? And she's just trying to do her little thing.
Are you by chance watching the 4K of this from Screen Factory?
No, I'm watching the Blu-ray.
Did you pick up the 4K by chance?
No, because I didn't really feel like double dipping on it. I'm happy with the Blu-ray. I heard the 4K is nice though, but I'm just sticking with the Blu-ray.
I got the 4K. I haven't been able to check it out yet. So hopefully it looks real good on 4K. Sometimes with like older movies, like the higher the resolution, like the worse it looks. Like the original Friday the 13th, I don't need that on 4K because it's just like it there's some parts of it that don't look good on Blu-ray.
Right. Yeah, I heard with the Friday the 13th movies that yeah, some of the older formats are better to watch them in because that's kind of originally how they were. Like, I guess the color timing and stuff was better on some of the older releases because they're actually supposed to look darker. You're not supposed to be able to make out every little detail in those films
Yeah.
because they are older. So there's some things that they don't want you to notice that were supposed to be kind of hidden by the grain and the darkness and stuff.
I also love the sound design in this movie where it's just like that really creepy, just like atmosphere. Like it's not even music, it's just kind of like absence of music, just kind of like echoes, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I agree, man. It's got a great sound design, really good score. I mean, just yeah, it's so creepy that he's just in the attic the entire time too. It's just so he's just what I mean, just the entire time he's basically just hiding up there.
This is one of the few horror movies that the first time I watched it, it genuinely like creeped me out and unnerved me, mainly because those phone calls.
Yeah.
I'm not someone that gets scared very often by horror movies or creeped out or
Hmm.
really tense at them very often, but this one did it, so I that's always really special to me when a horror movie can do that.
Yeah. I feel the same way about found footage movies. Those usually tend to creep me out, like VHS, especially like some of those, and because it just feels real, you know what I mean? 'Cause it's found footage, so it's supposed to feel real. So, and just the way that a lot of found footage movies are filmed, there's usually like some really good jump scares in there, and stuff
Yeah.
like that. You never know when somebody's just gonna like pop right in front of the camera. So, though, some of those really creep me out. The Conjuring's another one. The scene where she gets trapped in the basement, and it's
Oh, and
dark,
then the
the clap. That man, that scene is when I first saw that, oh my god, that scared the crap out of me.
yeah. Some of those like possession movies freak me out. Those freak me out like supernatural stuff. I don't know why, but that just freaks me out.
Yeah,
So
me too. It is more of the supernatural stuff that tends to freak me. The slasher
yeah.
don't usually bother me at all.
No.
Blood and gore usually doesn't do it. Like that doesn't like creep me out
Mm.
at all. It's those jump scares or when the screen goes like completely black and then the sound cuts out and then they hit you with the music and it scares you. Yeah, those are
Yeah.
the ones.
Yeah, like I can watch Terrifier all day long and none of that grosses me out or scares me or anything, but like, you watch something like the Conjuring, right? And this the hand clap thing. I'm like, nope,
Creepy.
that's
So
creepy.
creepy. Yeah, that's so unsettling. What's a movie that's actually very, I don't know, there's something about it that just really creeps me out. It's just very unsettling, unnerving, just have you ever seen The Mist? That movie, I'll tell you what. it's not really the creatures, but it's just the fact that they're all shrouded in darkness and in the
Mhm.
fog, and all that, and it's just eerie when you first see, sorry, yes, I guess mild spoilers for the I mean, I'm not really I'm not going to talk about the ending, but I'm just saying when you
That
see
ending.
those creatures in the fog, in the mist for the first time, and you see how large they are, there is just something very, because it looks so real, and the oh my god, there's the iconic shot with
Yeah,
her.
the iconic shot of the
Yeah,
plastic.
that's the iconic shot. It's the poster art. I love it,
And
man.
then and then like just this Billy like talking to himself.
Oh my god, yeah, man. So- but yeah, no, the mist, and then the ending of the mist, obviously, which I'm not going to spoil or anything. But the ending is, the ending, and
The most
you know,
memorable part of that movie.
yeah. But just the whole thing, though, the religious elements with the lady and her crazy, all her religious cult like stuff going on, and that probably creeps me out more than anything else in the film. That lady is a nut job in that movie. That really, but there's a lot. The Mist is a great film, man. I love The Mist. I love that it gets under my skin. I love it when when a horror movie can get under my skin like that.
I actually kind of want a remake of The Mist because the other one's from like '06, '07, I
Yeah,
think.
2006. Yeah,
Yeah, I think you could do a really good like remake, readaptation of that.
yeah. Man. I'd love to see somebody else tackle it. Yeah, sure. You're right, because it's a fun concept. It's a really fun concept for a movie. So yeah. Are there any other movies that get under your skin like that are just kind of creep you out?
Mm, I'm not sure. I'll have to think about that and get back to you.
I mean, it's an interesting question because
Yeah.
you really got to think about, like, there's movies that gross you out sometimes, there's movies that have jump scares, but then there's movies that are just creepy, period, and they're almost like a little hard to watch sometimes because they're just so creepy.
Yeah.
Ones that really get under your skin, like those are the fun ones to really like think about and discuss and stuff, because it's interesting why. I feel so bad for the father in this movie.
So, yeah. Yeah.
That's so sad. Poor guy. Oh, he's sticking up her nose.
Yeah.
Oh.
It goes to like the grandma from the cussing Santa right before. This movie has some like a lot of funny moments.
It does. It does. You're right. It's got kind of some like really good like dark humor.
Yeah, like this, like that peace sign thing.
Yeah. That looks like something that should be in like Midsummer or something like that.
Yo, oh, that's 100% Midsommar right there.
Hmm. Yeah, man. It's just that now you're streaming it now. Do you see the grain? Is there a good amount of grain on yours? Okay, that's good. So you got to keep that grain, man. That's when you take away that, that's like taking away a big part of the film.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder that's why I'm curious on like how the 4K would look.
Right. I hope they didn't clean it up too much. You know what I mean? Sometimes you can clean a movie up a little too much. But some people like that. Some like it more shiny
Yeah.
and take away the grain, make it more palatable for them and stuff. So I don't know. Everybody has different tastes. Yeah, I know, right?
It just looks
It's like
anyway.
one more peek at this. Well, he looks like a pretty repressed guy, so I'm sure he wants to take one more gander at that before he goes.
Yeah.
There's not enough lipstick in the world, honey.
Yeah. He doesn't even like finish putting it on. She's just like half a lip and then just moves on.
Yeah, so she's a little disturbing in this movie too, to be honest. She
Yeah.
creeps me out a little bit.
Just like this dad's like looks that he just gives her all the time are hilarious.
I know.
Like he never says anything. He just like looks at her like, "What are you doing?"
She just flips him the bird.
Yeah. I'm telling you, this movie is really funny too.
I love the look too, man. I love the like snowy look, that snowy cold feel. Because
Mhm.
a lot of horror movies, a lot of I don't know. Some of them, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Very hot. Set in Texas, very
Mhm.
warm and hot, and all that
Or
stuff.
like especially the Halloween movies set during fall time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Fall time's great. That's like my favorite time of the year is the fall because I love the leaves on the ground and all that. That adds a lot of atmosphere. But there's something about the winter time with the snow on the ground and the icicles and all that kind of stuff, especially around the holidays like Christmas with all the lights and everything. It just adds so much to it, to the atmosphere and to the, you know.
I also love how like they kind of like not to spoil the movie, but I mean if you're watching this, I'm hoping you've already seen the movie. How
I'm
they
assuming
make
people
Peter,
watching have probably already seen it. That's what I was assuming. My bad
yeah,
if you're not, but I don't think I've said anything about the ending or anything like that. So I'm
but
trying to kind of go along with it as it goes.
yeah, but
Yeah.
a little bit of a spoiler for the end. I kind of like how they make Peter a red herring. I kind of like that.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, because that's another thing that you can play off of with the POV and all that is like who is the killer? Like kind of Friday the 13th did it as well. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
man, who is it? Yeah, I love a good murder mystery film. I think that's why I love Scream, the Scream franchise, so much. I love, you know, Urban Legend. What you did last summer, all those type of movies because I love that murder mystery. Tenebrae is another good one. Good Italian.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, that's a really good film, man. You should check that out. It's a great slasher. I actually just watched it for the first time this year as well. I watched it a few months back. Um, yeah, Synapse put out a nice box set for it too. There's Margot kid. It's just giving that kid some
Yeah,
booze.
just
Uh,
it's another Billy call.
oh yeah.
Here we go, Billy.
This actress is beautiful too, man. I forgot what the actress's name is, but she's just gorgeous. She's a beautiful woman.
Isn't it Olivia Hussey?
Is that it, Hussey?
I think so.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yep, starring Olivia Hussey, yep, yep, Margot Kidder, John Saxon. Yeah, yep, yeah. She's Olivia Hussey. Yeah, she's beautiful, beautiful woman.
You know, for never seeing Billy, he's one of my favorite horror icons just based off of what he says on the phone.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. I wonder if that was at all like an inspiration for Scream, because Scream kind of does
oh, the phone calls.
all that. Yeah. I wonder if this movie inspired Scream even just like a little bit, like Wes Craven, just a little bit
Mhm.
with the phone calls. Because really, this was one of the first movies to do it, right? With the creepy phone calls coming
Yeah.
in.
Well, isn't there?
When a stranger
Yeah, when
calls.
a stranger calls. I don't know what year that is though.
Me, right? That's what I was trying to think of too. Yeah, because that I think that does it a little bit too. Yeah, the calls coming from inside the house, and all that kind of stuff. I love it. So, would you put this in like one of your top five slasher movies? Would you? Is it like that high for you?
I'm pretty sure it's just in my top five horror movies, period.
Okay, I gotta go watch. You did a video with it, like your top. What was it? Top 25 horror movies?
31, 31.
Oh, it's
For the,
31. That's right, because it was
for
like
the 31st Halloween, yeah. Just nice,
around
neatly
Halloween.
numbered.
Yeah, I gotta go back and I gotta go watch that video. Yeah.
This phone number gag is so funny. Because this cop is so dumb.
Yeah.
I just love how like everyone just like rags on this cop the whole movie.
Yeah. What's your dad's favorite horror movie?
That's a great question. I don't know. I would have to ask him.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting, because obviously he grew up, with a lot of like the classic movies. I'm assuming,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. He grew up pretty sure he was born in 76. Pretty sure.
okay. So he grew
So
up a lot of the
the
'80s
80s. Yeah, the 80s.
like that. He probably loves Friday the 13th.
I'd have to ask. That's a good question.
Yeah, you should ask him, man. Yeah, he's who knows? Maybe he'll recommend some really cool movies that you haven't even seen yet. You never know.
Put Holland's comment up here. Just
No.
leave it there.
What was that in reference to?
The the phone number thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I love this piano scene where it's just like he's just like so intensely playing the piano and he just keeps messing up.
Yeah. Well, this guy's just got to be an absolute nervous wreck right now, man. I mean, I feel bad
Yeah, yeah.
because he's not in an easy spot. You know what I mean? Like this is a very difficult position to be. I almost would have rather not known until like after I was done with all this. Like done,
Oh,
like
yeah,
done
yeah.
until I had like played. The piano for these big shots here, and kind of got through all that stuff. Because obviously he's just like a nervous wreck now that he knows about the child and all that stuff, right? So
Yeah, and I mean like um doing like a playing like that for people as it is already nerve-wracking enough.
but then you add on the extra stress of like a kid, all that kind of stuff, and whether or not she's going to keep your kid and all that. I mean, like, it's just very poor timing.
Yeah. But that's why it makes it
Yeah.
such a good red herring.
Yeah, no, definitely. I completely agree. Yeah, it's perfect because he looks like his entire mind is just unraveling right now. Like, you could easily see him being the killer. Oh, and then the police officer right here is the dad in
Nightmare on Elm Street. Yeah. Yeah.
That's John Saxton, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. He's a really good actor, man. I like him a lot.
He's not in a whole lot, or at least not that I know of.
He's always just like one of like a supporting character. He's usually that supporting role, you know. But yeah, he's always good. So it looks like I was looking it up. When a Stranger Calls came out in 1979. Remember how we were discussing which one came out first, Black Christmas or When a Stranger Calls? When a Stranger Calls came out in 1979, so this came out first.
Yeah, I wonder if when they made that, if they took inspiration from this. That I haven't seen that, but I know the basic.
Yeah, it's actually the remake. In my opinion, I actually like the remake too. I thought the remake was pretty good in the 2000s.
Yeah.
For When a Stranger Calls.
Are there any remakes that you prefer to the originals?
Well, I guess I mean it's obvious, I guess, but like The Thing, which is a pretty obvious answer. The Blob, I love the remake to The Blob, which I actually just watched for the first time this year as well. I just got the Scream Blu-ray in that Shocktober sale that they had, and I watched it a couple months ago and I loved it. Have you seen the remake to The Blob?
I haven't seen any of the Blob movies.
Oh, it's so good, man. And actually, because you love The Thing so much, I'll tell you what, man, you're really gonna love The Blob because it has like a creature in it, and the practical effects and everything, like how the
really
creature
good.
kills people, is really well done. Like, beautiful practical effects. I mean, they look amazing. So I think you'll appreciate that too. And you get some really good characters. I like the characters in the Blob. You feel for all of them. They're good characters. So definitely check that out. Yeah, Blob remake, excellent. So that's another one. I love it. What about you? Do you remember any remakes to the original?
Yeah, quite a few. Like the Evil Dead remake.
Ooh, good one, yeah.
It 2017, Friday the 13th remake. Trying to think.
Do you like My Bloody Valentine? You like that remake?
I know I've seen both the My Bloody Valentine movies. I don't remember them though. Or not enough to say anything intelligent about them.
Do you like the House of Wax remake? Actually, technically, there's 3 House of Wax because there's like a really old one, then another older one, and then like the remake, which was in 2006, I believe, or 2005, 2006. That one?
I have some version of House of Wax. I haven't seen any of them though, so I don't know which one I own.
Yeah, Scream Factory did House of Wax, so you might have that one, the remake. Yeah, it was in 2005, House of Wax 2005, with it's got Paris Hilton in it, which is kind of funny, and it's got Alicia Cuthbert, and it's got Jared Padalecki from Supernatural. He plays Sam.
Yeah, he's also in the Friday the 13th remake.
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, I love that remake, House of Wax. Check that one out. That also really great practical effects in that film too, and the characters are all good. Even Paris Hilton does a good job. I thought she was actually okay too.
Yeah. I don't
Um,
know. Remakes usually get like a bad stigma, usually have a negative stigma towards them, but
they
there's
do.
quite a few that are really good. But it just takes like one or two crappy remakes to get that stigma. Like Black Christmas 2019 adds to that stigma.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you, man. I love a lot of I also love the Friday the 13th remake. I think it's excellent. It's definitely right. It's up there for me. That's I think the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake is fantastic,
That's a really good one too, yeah.
and The Beginning, which came out after that as well. Have you seen The Beginning?
Yeah, I've seen all the Texas Chainsaw movies. I'm not as big on the beginning. I think
Oh, okay.
it
I thought that was really good.
I think it's in my bottom half of Texas
I
Chainsaw movies.
gotcha. Um, God, House on Haunted Hill, 1999. That's a really
Haven't seen any of those.
yeah. Scream Factory also put out a release for that. That one's very good. There's just I don't know, man. There's a ton of good ones. I don't know. Yeah, you're right. They do get a bad rep. They really do.
Like you get things like the Psycho remake or like the Nightmare on Elm Street remake, which I I don't really like the Nightmare on Elm Street remake, but I think it's overhated. Like it's not abysmal to me, but it's not good. I don't know. I think it gets more hate than it deserves, but that's just me.
For Nightmare on Elm Street, I think the thing holding that back is they just used way too much CGI. I think if they would have just lightened up on the CGI effects,
Yeah.
more practical.
And
Uh,
they made Freddy
yeah,
the child toucher. You
right.
shouldn't do that.
That probably wasn't the best idea either.
Yeah.
you
For
know,
me, I mean,
yeah,
you go to slasher movies because you want to see the slashers kill people. And
exactly.
you're kind of rooting for them. You can't really root for that.
Although I will say the scene where um she's kind of like slipping in and out of the dream world where she's at the pharmacy at the end, and it's she's going in and out of consciousness, where she's like falling asleep and then she's awake, and then you see Freddy like popping in and out, while she's like half asleep, half awake. Do you know what the scene I'm talking about? Yeah,
Yeah.
that I love that scene. I thought that was shot very well, where Freddy's like slowly coming at her, and she's like trying to fight to stay awake, and he just keeps every time she keeps taking like these quick micro naps, and every time she does, he pops back into the frame, and he keeps like coming.
Right.
At her. I thought that was directed very well. I love the way that was shot. That scene.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ghost Ship is another good remake, by the way. If you haven't seen Ghost Ship, that's another really good one. Ghost Ship from 2002. That's a really good one.
Also, like back on like the thing about like the Peter red herring thing, like just like showing him just like destroy that piano a little while earlier, and then just him just sitting down outside the house, like as like this kind of tension, like oh something's gonna happen starts happening. I don't know. They just do a really good job with that in this.
Yes, definitely.
Isn't it right after this that Billy kind of has like his hissy fit in the attic? He like pushes stuff over and stuff.
Yeah, because he's like close to getting busted, right? So he starts kind of like, yeah, he's like ready to kill her right there.
Yeah, like you said earlier, like this movie isn't overly like it's not gory very much. Like you see a little bit of blood and stuff, but it's still very effective. It doesn't need.
Tons of gore, blood, and
Yeah, yeah.
exactly right. Yeah, it's more of like a theater of the mind type of thing where it's like it's way worse in your head than what you need to see on screen. Yeah, because I guess originally when this film was written, it was written to be more bloodier, more gorier, but then Bob Clark, the director, decided like it would play better if he kind of toned that down a bit and just let it play out in people's heads. So I thought that was a good directing choice. I like that. John Carpenter did the same thing with Halloween. I mean, Halloween's not a
Yeah, the first one's not very
yeah,
gory at all, no.
right.
Very
Uh,
tame.
Yep. And then Halloween 2, 1981 gets more gorier, more bloodier. I think it's funny because I think that's when Halloween almost tried to be a little bit more like Friday the 13th in that way. Where it was like they made it more about the kills, stuff.
Dude, I love Billy's rage right now. You're
He's
just
out.
like,
He's
oh,
like,
I this
oh,
might be my favorite scene of the movie where he's just like screaming and pushing everything over.
yeah. And look at all that stuff in that attic too, man. I'm just curious. I
Yeah,
don't.
it's just like
Yeah.
that horse thingy is so creepy.
Yeah, I'd almost want to just like pause, like frame by frame, and look and see what's in that attic.
Yeah. Well, because it
Like
is
a bird
just a
cage
bunch
in
of
there.
random it's just a bunch of random junk up there.
Yeah, it's all covered in dust and cobwebs and all this stuff. It's very creepy. There's like a rocking chair in there too, which kind of reminds me of. Well, it's a rocking chair, not a wheelchair, but it kind of reminds me of like Changeling. Have you ever seen the Changeling or Change? Yeah, with George C. Scott. That's a really good like ghost story horror film. If you haven't seen it, I'd check that one out. Yeah, The Changeling, 1980. There's like a really creepy wheelchair in that movie, and when they go to the attic of the house or whatever, there's kind of like that rocking chair there. And when you see it covered in dust and everything, it reminds me of that the
Yeah.
wheelchair from The Changeling. But you're right, man. The phone calls and Billy and all that stuff. It's so well done. Could you imagine the guy that just comes up with this stuff that he's saying like
Yeah,
on the
for the phone, like how do you think of that stuff?
you know?
It's so I don't know if I should like laugh at how absurd these phone calls are or just be like terrified. Like if I picked up a phone from someone I like for a number I didn't know and I just heard noises like that, I'd be so scared.
Right. Especially if you lived in a big house like that, because that's the one thing with living in big houses. Like you got to like check room to room, make sure everything's secure. Because when you got like an attic, a basement, downstairs, upstairs, all this, that's like, oh my god.
And then like Peter just like does creepy things like this, just like, oh yeah, I just casually broke into the house so I could stay warm.
The other thing with this film too is it really takes its time, you know.
Yeah, it
It
is
really,
a slower movie.
but no, I like it. I like that
Yeah,
it takes time to build the characters, and it doesn't give you like a million kills, and stuff like that. But I do like how it just like very slowly but surely he just kind of keeps picking them off one by one. Just
yeah,
every time they come up to the attic, he just gets another one and stuff. It's like, or when it's when he starts taking enough of them out, then he can start going through the house, into the
yeah,
bedroom.
yeah.
Okay, who's left?
Also, like you said, since it's slower, you get time to like with the characters.
Hmm.
It stands out amongst other horror movies where it's just like, oh, they don't really have good characters. Like that's a big criticism to like slasher movies is like, oh, don't have good characters because well, we're just there to for the kills basically. This
Right.
movie's kind of like, I guess the opposite of that, where it spends time like developing its characters, you understand them, and then yeah, the kills are there, they're good, but they're not like the main thing you go to see, I guess.
Yeah, and they're not like too over the top or anything like that. They're just, but they are good. They do have some
Yeah.
style thing. And the fact that they keep showing that that poor woman up there, in the attic, with
Yeah, with like the plastic.
over her face, yeah, and it's sucked into her mouth too because she was trying
Mhm,
to breathe, so it's like in her mouth, like so it's just that's really creepy, and that just
mhm.
adds every time they show her sitting in that that rocking chair,
Yeah.
like. I think that's another reason I love a lot of 70s horror movies too, because a lot of them, think about it, they do take their time to develop the characters. Like when you really think of
Yeah.
it, a
Like The
lot of,
Exorcist.
yeah, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
you know. Even though I know a lot of people make fun of the characters in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 1974, I know they get a lot of heat. But the one thing I'll say about them is they really do focus like you get to hang out with them when they're in the van and they're driving around, then they pick up the hitchhiker and then they're all talking to him, and then that's a whole weird scene, and then they eventually go to the house and they're all hanging out and having fun, and it just it feels like a real group of friends just hanging out and talking to each other and
Yeah.
stuff. It feels lived in, you know what I mean? I know a lot of people make fun of those characters, but they do feel like just regular people, which I think is what
Yeah, they're not like
yeah,
terrible, annoying
yeah.
characters.
I think Toby Hooper that's what he was going for. He didn't want any big names or anything in it. He just wanted regular people, kind of like off the street basically, because
Yeah.
wanted them to seem once again kind of playing into that like almost found footage style. Whereas like if you watched a found footage film and you recognized everybody in it, it wouldn't be as creepy because it's like not real. But when you're watching the Blair Witch Project and you're like, who are these people? You know what I mean? You don't
Yeah,
recognize.
yeah, because you don't recognize them.
It makes it feel more real, because it could be me or you in that situation now,
Yeah.
you
Hmm.
know. So I like that. Even The Hills Have Eyes. Wes Craven's The Hills Have Eyes. You're hanging out with them in the RV, then they're setting up camp, and it builds up. The 70s movies they really build up to the action.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This scene, that guy in the background is just like having the time of his life.
Yeah. And just this too, cutting back to the cops, they're doing their investigation. They're
Yeah.
kind of figure it
Yeah, like
out.
it balances like
Hmm.
the two different settings very well.
Yep. And it's like you said, you got the dim-witted cop, and then you got like
Yeah,
the two regular detectives just kind of laughing at him and stuff. But that's good because once again, it feels kind of real. Look at his eyes, man. The guy's got some great facial expressions. I was like,
yeah.
wide. Eyed.
He's just like so clueless.
He is. He has absolutely no idea. And all these guys can do is laugh at him, basically, because it's just so stupid. Everybody has that guy at work, though.
Yeah,
Every job has that
you
guy.
just that you just like mess with because they're so dumb.
Funny, you got to kill the time somehow.
Yeah,
Look at that Christmas tree, though. You see that
it's like
Christmas tree?
it's like covered in tinsel. Like the whole thing's tinsel.
It almost looks like webs, though, right? It almost looks like spider webs.
Yeah, yeah, like spider webs. I thought it was like a fake tree. You know how they like make the fake trees where they're like all white?
Yeah.
I kind of thought it was that for a while, like some of the first few times I watched the movie, but
No, yeah, no, I could see that for sure. Right, because there's just so much of that tinsel on there. It looks fake. I mean, there's a ton of whatever that is. I mean, like I said, it almost looks like spider web to me. It's weird, but I like it. It definitely stands out. I like the warm colors in this movie too. There's a lot of warm, nice juxtaposition to like the outside, which is very
yeah, yeah, the
cool,
cold.
dark, and then you come inside and you've got some really warm colors. She's wearing that like yellow shirt, and there's just like just a lot of warm colors and stuff in the background and everything. Um, you feel it. You almost feel warmer. Like when they go from outside to inside, you can almost feel it.
Yeah. Well, also like it kind of makes you feel comfortable,
Exactly.
like oh,
Right.
like warm and comfortable, but there's a killer there, so
Right.
it's yeah, that kind of like adds to like the creepy horror. It's like this
It
should
does.
feel comfortable, but
Yeah.
there's tension there.
Exactly. Yeah. And like I said, now the house is starting to dwindle down because you're missing people. So it's that
Yeah.
that
Well,
added
and
as
it's like the holidays, so a lot of people like went home or whatever, so that gets rid of a lot of people too.
well.
So
Right.
it kind of makes it feel more isolated as well.
And it takes away from suspicion as well because it's like, well, they could be missing, but they could have also just went home for the holidays. Maybe they met up with some family. You don't really know. Like so, there's no
Mhm,
reason like overly suspicious or overly cautious because it could be a number of things. So
mhm.
because there's nothing really to suggest that anyone's murdered. There's no blood anywhere. Everything's happened basically in the attic. So it's like there's no
Mhm.
expect any foul play really.
That you can see at least.
Exactly. So it just looks pretty normal. And this is back in the 70s, so no cell phones, no nothing like that. So you can't just
Mhm.
call people or text people and you get a quick answer. Um some when people left back then, like the 70s and 80s, sometimes you just have to assume that, okay, well, see you around, until the next
Yeah.
time, and get to really keep up with them as easily as you can now.
Like with the house mother, like they just think she left,
Right. Why not?
but yeah,
Sure.
they just can't see her. Also, like with what you're saying about like the cell phones and stuff, like that's what I like about like this whole like thing where they like tap the phones kind of, so that way they can like trace the calls and whatever. Like if
Oh,
that happened now, you would just have like the caller ID or whatever. But like back
yeah.
then, it's like this whole huge thing that takes this long. I don't think it would be as effective if you did it now.
No, you're 100% right, man. That's what's nice when you remove cell phones from anything, any of the movies and stuff, but it makes them so much more fun, because there's so many situations you could get out of if you just have a cell phone. So I love 70s, 80s movies, for that, because, you just didn't have cell phones. So was it if you broke down in the middle of the highway, or in some creepy town, you're screwed because you don't have a cell. You just got to walk and
Mhm.
hope to find a gas station or somewhere you can find a payphone or whatever. And you know,
Mhm.
you get a lot of those good horror movies, like I mean, yeah, you take the cell phones out of it, it makes a world of difference. And it's like you said, they keep making that, that guy is like the perfect red herring, because he's just now
Yeah,
creeping outside of the house and everything. It's like,
yeah, yeah. It looked like that shot where he's like looking by the tree or whatever.
and you got to remember too, it's 1974, so there's not a lot of movies that have come out by then that are anything like this. So
Yeah, yeah.
like for us, because we've seen like a million slashers, we know better. But back then, when you first watched this movie, there's nothing to make you think like, oh, well, yeah, it's obviously the boyfriend guy, right? I mean, it's super
Mhm.
like being, super suspicious and all this stuff. Like why wouldn't you think he's the killer, basically? Like this movie, if you watch this for the first time in 1974 or whatever, this would be especially even creepier than it is today, just because there's nothing else really like it to compare it to except for maybe Psycho.
Yeah. Go Billy being a whack job again in the attic, just murmuring to himself.
Yeah, and pushing on the rocking chair too, kind of,
Yeah,
like
it's just it just shows that like he does all that weird stuff and like all those weird voices and stuff, even when he's not on the phone, which is I don't know, it kind of makes it creepier. So it's like he's not just doing it on the phone. It's just like how he is normally, I
yeah,
guess.
you almost wonder, he talking to the people that he killed too, like does he think in his head like they're
Like
alive,
they're talking back.
right, like they're talking back to him, it's and it's another one of those examples of like it's scarier because there is no motive for what he's doing. You don't know why he's doing what he's doing. He's just, it just is what it is. So
Because like with same with like Michael Myers in the first Halloween.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely same thing. There's no motive. The Joker, in the Dark Knight, there's no motive. It's creepier when there's no motive.
It's
There's no
just
reason for him to do
because.
that he does. He just does them.
Yeah.
No, here's the famous kill right here.
Yeah. I
Let's
would say I would say like I don't know. I think the shot of the eye, like the unicorn stabbing, like with the eye thing, I
Yeah,
think that's the that shot and the plastic bag shot. I don't know where she's sitting in the chair. I don't know which. I think I'd say the eye is the more iconic of the two for me personally.
that
Yeah,
that eye right.
yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah. I agree, man. You know what else is creepy? I mean, it's coming up, but when he like goes like running down the stairs,
Yeah, and then like yeah.
that's terrifying because
Mhm.
now it's like, okay, he's not slowly doing his thing. Now he's just like running down the stair. Like that's so creepy.
Yeah,
When
he's not like silently
right,
like he's freaking out now.
right. Now he's just full blown like trying to kill him, any way he can. There's no more hiding behind anything or whatever, I mean, he's still in the shadows or whatever, but he's not afraid. Like now that you know about him, all bets are off. So I mean, we're still a little bit away from that scene, but you
Well, it's
know,
coming up because it's the choir.
yeah,
I also love like the sound mixing, like where it's just like this very cheerful choir of like kids singing over like probably the best kill of the film, in my opinion.
yeah.
And like and like you said, like it's not gory, it's not overly gory, but you remember all the kills in the movie. Like you remember the plastic bag, you remember the hook, you remember the unicorn, like you remember all of them, but you don't but they're not gory, so that's really impressive.
I agree, man. And you're right. The cutting back and forth between the choir singing and then Billy about to go into like her bedroom, Margot Kidder's bedroom, and get her with the unicorn. Um, yeah, just so well done, because you got this nice happy thing, this nice
Yeah,
happy singing. It's so happy and joyful, and you know, then you got Billy. He's just gonna spoil the whole thing. Got that eye,
for
man.
sure. Yeah. One thing I'm kind of worried about, like when I eventually watch my 4K, is like how visible Billy's face is gonna be at that thing. Cause I really don't want to see his face. I just I don't know. That's just
Oh
like part of
yeah,
the thing is like I never want to see Billy's face. It just I don't know. I feel like it kind of ruins some of the creep factor to it.
that would be a huge mistake. You're right. I hope it can't clear it up that much. That would be really bad.
Yeah.
I hope. Hopefully, it doesn't do that. But even the look of Billy, when you see him in the shadows, he does look like, you
Now
know,
Peter, yeah.
he looks like Peter, right? He looks like
Yeah.
the man that everybody suspects, so that helps too. That just, further makes you think like, oh, it's clearly Peter. I mean, who else is it? But you're right.
Also,
This whole phone call scene coming up here, this whole like bit
yeah.
and everything. This is fantastic, and you're right because they have to go through all this work, and it really ramps up up the tension and everything. It's so good.
Also, like with what you were saying about like how like sorry, I'm gonna stop. I want to listen to the phone call real fast. Sorry.
Oh yeah, no problem. Absolutely.
Okay. Anyways, yeah, but what I was gonna say is like you said, this when this came out in '74, people probably didn't see a whole lot like this, you know. So when it eventually gets to um that reveal that the killer, like the calls are coming from the house, like I can just imagine like being there in '74, like oh, like that being a really like huge and shocking reveal. But like you know, when I watched this for the first time a few years ago, it's like I don't know, it kind of like it was like oh yeah, that makes sense, but it wasn't like life
Right.
changing. Yeah.
Exactly. Like some of that stuff is a little ruined now just because we know what to expect basically, you know. But back then, oh my god, man, that was probably like, that was probably like a sixth sense type of reveal,
Yeah, yeah.
huge reveal. Like what a twist.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is weird that it's a twist, because I don't know, like, watching the movie, like, after you know that and you watch the movie, like, it seems kinda obvious. It's like, well, the killer's in the house. We know the killer's in the house.
Oh yeah, not even like, I guess a twist isn't the right word, but it's just the way it's played out is it's so
Yeah, yeah.
it's just so when they tell her that and she finds out and everything, it's built up so well that it's almost like you forget for a second, like, oh yeah, I already knew that, but it's still intense, it's
It's
still hit
just yeah, it's
because
intense and shocking.
it's her realization and the police officer's realization, like, oh my god, the calls are coming from inside the house, like, you know,
Mhm. And just, like, the way that, Olivia Hussey, like, acts in that moment is really good.
yeah, yep, great acting. And the one thing with remakes, I do like it when because it sounds like the 2006 version of this is like way different than this movie, and that's what I want. I want you to give me a different take on the film. I don't want the same thing over again because that's boring.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
want a different spin on it.
yeah, there's some remakes that where it's like, yeah, that makes sense for it, but then there's other remakes where it's like you kinda can't do it, like with the Friday the 13th remake, people aren't gonna go see a Friday the 13th movie that doesn't have Jason Voorhees, so you kinda need to keep Jason Voorhees in
Oh
there.
yeah,
But with something like the Wrong Turn remake, that's, like, totally different from that whole franchise, which and I think that works
I
for
haven't
that.
yet, but I heard that it's pretty good. I'll have to watch that.
Yeah.
I haven't seen
I'd
that.
say I'd say it's, like might be my favorite of that franchise, but that isn't that high of a bar, so
Yeah, all right, that's true. Yeah. God, how many of those movies are there? Like 7 or something?
the
Or
remake is the 7th one,
yeah,
yeah.
that's what I thought. Oh my god,
And
yeah,
then
that's
and then,
crazy.
like, Peter's phone call, just, like, the way his voice sounds with, like, the trembling and stuff kind of sounds like Billy too.
Right. Yeah, they do a great job with the misdirect. Like
Mhm.
But yeah, Friday the 13th, I'm fine with that. It's just doing what I want in a Friday the 13th movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's just giving me what I want. It's giving me like great kills,
a
you know,
great Jason.
hot women, some
Yeah,
and that's what you want from a Friday the 13th film, though. I mean,
yeah. It's not.
that's what
I'm
it
not
is.
walking into Friday the 13th expecting A24 horror movie. You know, I'm.
Exactly. I don't
I'm.
want that. Yeah.
Yeah, I get what I expect when I walk into it.
And I love that the remake gave us Sackhead Jason at the beginning, which he looks great. And then you get the masked version of Jason towards like the middle half. So I love that you get both.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people love Sackhead Jason, from like the second movie, where he's got the bag on his head the whole time, just the one eye hole. And they did a great remix of that in the remake too.
Yeah, yeah,
I thought he looked really. I thought maybe he even looked better with that sack on. I'll be honest. I thought he looked really cool with the sack on.
yeah. That I'm like extremely biased towards that remake. I love that remake. It is
Oh,
my
me too,
favorite
man.
Friday the 13th.
Yeah, I'm
It's
right
like
there with you. I think it's excellent.
I hope they make another Friday movie soon. Like I'm,
Well,
we're
they're
due
doing a
for
TV series, right?
what?
They're doing a TV series.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
they are. But I
But-
still want a movie. It's been like over a decade since Jason's gotten a movie in. I hope they bring Derek Mears back, the guy who played Jason in the remake, because he is a badass.
He was, man. He kicked a lot of ass in that movie. He's definitely like he's got the physicality for it. He gives you that, like,
Brutal.
yeah, exactly. Like, right. He's
Not
just
like the stalker Jason, like the no, like the freight train. I'm gonna
right.
kill you, Jason.
Yeah. When he just runs at that one dude with the machete and it just like
And then you're
down at him like,
yeah, in the
oh
head.
God, yeah. Yeah.
And then how he just like takes his foot and just like kicks him off of it with his
Oh yeah.
face.
Oh.
That's
Or
awesome.
he chucks the axe at that guy when he's running away. Just
Yeah,
like oh
I'm
my
telling you, he's a badass in that movie.
Yes. Really good kills in that movie too. Friday the 13th the remake had some great kills in it. That poor guy when he's going into like the shed to look for whatever, some tools to fix the guy's chair that he broke.
Oh yeah, and he knocks the light and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
and already breaks the light. Like that was a funny character too. I liked his character.
Yeah.
And then Jason finds him and just kills him, and he like slowly puts that
The
forgot what it was,
screwdriver.
screwdriver, right? Like into his neck. Like, oh god,
Mhm.
it's brutal. And in the unrated cut, it's extended too, so it's like, oh man.
If I was in this situation where there's like two guys banging on the door after like one of my friends just went missing and the two guys have like a gun and they're banging on the door, I would not open the door. Like,
Oh no, yeah, definitely not. That's one thing that's changed drastically though. Like back in like the 70s, 80s, 90s, like it was more normal for people to show up at your door. Maybe not with a gun, obviously, but it was more normal for people to like
yeah,
knock at your door and just show up at your house, without calling or anything first. That was just like a normal thing back then.
yeah.
But nowadays, it's like nobody even really thinks about showing up unless they send like a text first or
Or it's
calls.
like for a gathering or something.
Yeah. But back then it was normal. People just rode their bikes over to other people's houses. They just showed up. But you were talking about the It remake earlier, man. That is a phenomenal remake. I love that movie. Is so good. I like both chapters too. A lot of people give the second chapter a lot of crap, but I like the second chapter. I thought it was pretty well done too.
Yeah. I think the first It might be my first like theater experience with a horror movie, if I'm being
Oh
honest.
wow!
Yeah, I went with a bunch of my friends Halloween night the year that came out. That was really fun. Really
That's
fun.
awesome, man. That's a great that's a for your first horror movie in the theater, that's a great one.
Yeah, I've
Oh,
come a long way.
pity.
Seen seen It Chapter 1 in theaters, and then you advance to Terrifier 2 in theaters.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. But Bill Skarsgård, he
Oh,
plays.
he kills it.
Yeah, I mean, I love Tim Curry too. Don't get me wrong. I mean, Tim Curry is fantastic. I think Bill Skarsgård just did his own thing, and I respect him for it. He played it his own way. He didn't try to copy Tim Curry's performance. He just did his own thing. Did you like the second chapter though? In the
Um, yeah, I like it, but not as much as Chapter 1.
Oh no, the first
I
chapter.
like it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. First chapter is still my favorite too. The de-aging that they used on the kids in the second chapter, that kind of took me out of it.
Yeah, it's a little iffy.
I wish that they had not done like as many flashbacks in this. I kind of
Mhm.
wish that they had just concentrated on them as adults and just left it at that.
Yeah. It also gets a little bit cyclical in the middle where it's like
Yeah.
person goes to place, remembers something, gets scared by Pennywise, grabs thing,
Right. Yeah.
moves on. It's just like,
Yeah.
but yeah, I still enjoy it. Yeah.
The music in that film though, in it chapter 2 for the remake, that music, man, it really hit me though. When they're playing that music at the end and they're looking into their reflection at the end of the film,
Oh yeah,
and then it shows the younger versions of themselves as they're looking into the reflection, they're playing that like sad music. That hits me in the feels every time. I'm like, God, man, whoever did the score for that film, great job, man, because it
yeah,
hit every single time I watched the movie.
yeah.
Um,
They're
yeah.
both very well made films, like on a technical side.
And then when you find because they're talking about Stan, because Stan commits suicide in that movie,
Mhm,
and
yeah,
it's so sad. I mean, it really is. It's just such a sad thing. Because you got
yeah.
the kid version of them, and I don't know. It is. It's just it's sad, but it's well done because it does hit you.
Have you ever watched the fan film on YouTube called "It's Me, Billy"? That's kind of like a sequel to this.
God, I was gonna bring it up, but no, I haven't seen it. But I was gonna bring that up too. I was thinking,
Oh,
yeah, I haven't seen it. Have you seen it?
yeah. Yeah, it's only like 45 minutes ish, I think. I watched it one night. Yeah, it was pretty good. Pretty good.
You liked it?
Yeah.
All right, I'll have to check it out. I mean, I didn't realize it was only 40 minutes. Yeah, I should check that out. It's got Dave McRae as Billy, right?
I don't remember. I watched it like a year or so ago.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Dave McRae is like another YouTuber, like another horror YouTuber or whatever, and I believe he plays the voice and everything, and he plays Billy in that fan film that you're talking about. I believe that's him.
For the reveal. That
Yep, here it comes.
I think this might be like legit the goriest part of the movie where it shows this cop. It's
With
got the
his
slit neck.
Yeah. Ooh, that's pretty good too. That's a nice little effect right there. I like that.
Mm.
You get a lot of cool like after the kill has happened kind of like effects too, because you also see like the
Yeah.
hook in the dorm mother's,
Yeah.
it looks
Face.
like in her cheek, right, or somewhere around there.
Yeah, I think it like kind of goes underneath her chin.
Or yeah, is it under her chin through the cheek? Yeah, like you get some, after the kills happen, you get some like nice shots of like, oh wow, that looks brutal.
And then especially you get the repeated shot of the rocking chair plastic.
Yeah, that's yeah, right, exactly. And like you said, that's like iconic. That's one of the most iconic shots.
Hmm. Also, that they set up that this one cop is like a moron, and then it's like he does the one thing they tell him not to do. It
Right,
it makes sense because they set it up that he's a moron. So
right.
another iconic shot's coming up where it's just like just like the eye
Yeah,
thing. Yeah.
yeah, peeking through the door. Yep. Now, do you think if your friends don't answer you, are you just out that door, or are you going up there to like check?
I don't know. I'd probably go outside because in my mind it's like, oh, there's that cop car that's outside with the cop there, even because she doesn't know at this point that that cop got his neck slit.
Yeah, that's
I'd
true.
probably go outside and be like, hey, you go do that. You you go do
Right,
this.
right. You've got the gun. You go check.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, I feel the same way. Like if they're not answering and I'm screaming at the top of my lungs, I'm gonna have to assume that they're dead. So I would just go get help to go grab like a whole bunch of cops or whatever, and just by then the guy will probably be gone, or if he's stupid enough to hang around, then the cops will get him. So this is cool too because her POV,
Oh yeah.
like her looking up the stairs down the hallway, so you're getting her shot.
It's almost what we were talking about earlier, where Billy just goes into like full freak out mode.
Yeah. I like the wreath with all the bottles of booze on it.
Yeah.
Oh man. She just walked into both of her friends massacred. And there it is.
There's the eye.
It's even creepier too because there's like that brownish, like inside, like the pupil. There's like that brown, like, and you know what I mean. Like
Yeah.
a little off about his eyeball too. Here we go, running down the stairs. That's so God. And then he grabs her hair. That is just so creepy. Just the
Yeah.
fact that he goes full on blitz mode at that point. You know what I mean? He's just like running down the stairs. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah. Also, that like his sweatshirt is kind of green, and Peter's wearing that
Oh yeah,
the green sweatshirt too.
yeah. I'm sure that had to have been what Bob Clark.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
That is not a mistake. And then how he just like stops.
Yeah.
Also, like similar to the attic, the basement's got like that very like dirty, nasty, not upkept feel to it too.
Oh yeah, yeah. You can tell not a lot of people go down there. Nobody's been keeping up with it. I like that shot too. Just the silhouette, you know.
Oh yeah, looking through the glass. Because at this point you don't know what that silhouette is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like you don't know if that's Billy, Peter, someone else.
Maybe a cop, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a cool shot too. Them looking through like that iced out
Yeah.
window.
I don't know why he thinks this is a good idea to just like
Well, yeah, yeah. Like I said, in a way, he's kind of become, Peter has kind of become unhinged as well,
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
because his music career is, could be going down the toilet, because he's not playing as well as he should be, and, he's worried about his child and all this stuff. He's got like all this stuff on his mind. Like he's like, so he's starting to unravel quite a bit too, so it's like, it is interesting
Yeah.
because
And and you
even though we're looking at Peter and we know, but it's like, you know he has other reasons, to possibly want, I don't know, like he's kind of creepy in his own way too, even though we know, Billy's a separate, is the killer, but he's still kind of, off-putting in a way, Peter,
mhm.
because you just don't know what he's gonna do. I mean, at this point you're like,
Well, he just gets like creepier and creepier. Like at the
he does.
beginning, like the first time you see him, he just seems like a normal enough guy. But
Yeah.
then, like with each time that he appears, he just gets like more and more unhinged, like you said, and just creepier.
Yeah. And then you remember, when they were talking about that, it was a child that had been killed, right? That they found.
Yeah,
You know, we don't really ever find out if that was Billy or someone else, right?
yeah, yeah. True.
You wonder like what's going on with that. Uh,
I don't know. This movie does leave some stuff ambiguous, which
oh yeah,
sometimes I like ambiguity in films. Like The Thing, the ending of The Thing's got some ambiguity. Like The Shining as well.
yeah.
Like ambiguity can be it can be good if it's done correctly, but sometimes you can just like have a movie that unsatisfyingly leaves things unanswered.
No, I agree. It's nice when they can give you, a solid enough ending, but then leave a little bit of stuff unanswered. Just for you to
Mhm.
like ponder on.
Yeah.
It is good when a film leaves you wanting more, and like it's like, like it leaves you with some questions, but you still get a good enough ending to where you feel satisfied. It's hard
Yeah.
to pull off, but
Yeah, where you're satisfied, but you want more, if that makes sense.
yeah, like The Shining, right, did a really great job of that. It's like you got an ending, but then it is weird too, because then it like does that zoom, that close up shot of Jack
Yeah,
Nicholson's
the
face,
picture.
right? So it's like, wait, what's up with this? Like,
Yeah.
like,
And
it makes,
then
yeah, it
and
makes
that
you wonder.
movie's been like so analyzed for the past 40 years.
Right. Because basically it's like, okay, so he's a part of the hotel now, right? Like he's like another ghost in
And like
there.
the painting's like dated like 1925, and it's like, oh, is he like always been part of like, I don't know. There's like so many different ways you can interpret that. You can debate that and talk about that for hours. And that's just the ending of that film. You could talk about so many things in that film for hours.
Exactly. Now you got all these guys in the house, so you feel pretty secure, right?
Yeah. Kind of back on what we were saying earlier about how like it feels very warm and comfortable with like
Yep.
the use of colors and just like the way it's shot and whatever. So like once again, you have all these people in the house with you. You feel comfortable, but you're still in danger.
Yeah, I mean, just look how warm that room is. Look
Yeah,
at the
with all the reds, yellows, browns.
right. Yep. The yellow bed, the red clock, the wallpaper, and then you just got that little bit of coldness outside in the window there, right outside the window. Um, you know, you can see it's getting a little frosted over there, so you know, it's a little unsettling, but still very warm and yeah.
That house just like so silent, and then just like moves around and like just shows you all these different rooms with like that little music cue. I love that music cue that they use in this.
Hmm. the bloody mattress too that they show.
It's kind of like, just like touching up on like key areas from the film. Oh, still there.
Yeah. Yeah, so eerie.
I love the way that this ends too, where it's like, um, in a way, the villain wins, I guess, because he's never caught or whatever. I don't know. I love when movies do that, where where it's not necessarily a sad ending, but it's not necessarily a happy ending at the same time, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and like, and you leave a little bit of room open maybe for a possible sequel. But I think the fact that this movie never really got like an official sequel like this film is good because it all
Hmm.
now like what happened does eventually get killed, because he's still in the house, so he could go down there and kill her right now while she's sleeping and probably sneak out if he wanted to. So you wonder, what happened.
Hmm.
And then you just got all those in the attic still. They don't even realize that. They don't know about the bodies in the
Yeah,
attic.
yeah, they haven't even found those.
Yeah.
They just zoom out on the plastic bag thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that's creepy because you know how some people like to leave like candles like up by the window, like those
Oh yeah.
by the window and stuff, and it's like a nice thing. Instead, there's like this dead lady, you know, the bag over her face, and there is a little, like, I think, candle or light hitting her face because you can see it from the window, but it's just like, you know, it's like the messed up version of that, basically. You know,
Yeah.
instead of like a nice flickering candle, you just have like this poor dead girl in the window, and these guys still don't even know that they're up there. You know.
Yeah. Then you got the phone ringing over the credits. Mm.
It'd be funny if we just hear Billy talking to the cops next.
Yeah, yeah, let the cops pick up the phone. Yeah.
Well, that's Black Christmas.
Uh,
Fun for the whole.
yeah. Yeah, that I love that movie. That's like I watched it for the first time last year, right? And it's like it's just it's a movie I see myself going to rewatch every single year at Christmas time. Just one of those movies for me, I guess.
Do you like any other holiday horror films, or have you not
Um,
dove, you know, into those too much?
yeah, so I like Krampus. Krampus is a really good one.
Fun.
I watched the first two Silent Night, Deadly Night movies like a week or so ago for the first time. They were first
I
one was okay, and I really liked the second one. Uh,
I could see those getting some 4Ks next year from Scream Factory.
yeah, the Blu-rays are 4K. No, sorry, not 4K. A Scream Factory, sorry.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I could see those getting like 4K releases next year because they did Black Christmas for Christmas this year on 4K. So I could see next Christmas they'll probably do Silent Night, Deadly Night 1 and 2 on 4K. Maybe they'll even do a double pack. That'd be interesting.
I'm trying to think if there's any like other Christmas horror movies.
There's a lot of older ones, and I just can't. I feel like I always get them mixed up between each other. There were like a lot of older horror Christmas movies that, you know, I used to rent when I was a kid from like Blockbuster and stuff, but I feel like I always get them mixed up with each other.
Oh, the Jack Frost, like the Killer Snowman movies.
Oh, those are classics. Yeah,
Yeah, they're like those are like the definition of so terrible that they're entertaining for me.
absolutely. Especially the first one.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I remember I watched both of those with my cousins one year for Christmas. That was a pretty fun thing to do on Christmas. I was like, "Hey, you want to watch this terrible movie?" I'm like, "Sure." Yeah.
That's a great one though. Like you said, that's a good movie to put on, like kind of in the background when you're hanging out with friends or family. Like, you know,
And
like
that you can make fun of like while you're
exactly.
watching
It,
it. Yeah.
it's that perfect. Uh, it's that perfect like holiday horror movie for that because it is funny. Too. Like, you know, he's got.
Actually, hold on 1 minute.
Oh, he's gonna grab the release maybe.
They actually have
Oh,
Blu-rays, the two of them, yeah.
very
That's
cool.
like it's like MVD Rewind Collection. Like
Yeah,
I've never heard of those until I saw these are coming to Blu-ray. I'm like, oh, I need those just because.
that's awesome, dude. Yeah, those have really nice slipcovers too. I really like the slips on those.
Yeah, yeah, like the artwork's pretty neat, and it's
Yeah.
like it's that way too. I'm not I'm not a stickler really when it comes to slipcovers,
No, yeah.
but
If I
I
get
know some people are.
if I get one, I'm happy about it. Like, you know, especially if I spend like decent money on it, you know, then you know, it's nice to get the slipcover. But I understand that if I wait a couple of years or so and I get it for like a deal later on, I don't expect the slipcover to come. You know what I mean? But it's a nice surprise when it does. Um, so,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, those are. I like how those slip covers there for the Jack Frost movies look so bright and happy too. Like they almost
Yeah.
movies, but
Yeah.
They're horror movie, they're like, super rated R horror movies. At least the first one is. I don't really remember the second one as much, but the first one is very hardcore. But they almost look like happy, family friendly movies, just if you go by the covers. They're so bright.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Um, yeah. Oh, yeah, I had a question I was gonna ask you.
Oh, sure.
Um,
Yeah.
would you agree with the notion that this isn't related to Black Christmas? We can just kind of talk about whatever for a little bit here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Um, would you agree that 2022 has been a really good year for horror movies?
Yeah, I think 2022 is definitely had some good stuff, man. I really enjoyed Smile. I thought Smile was really good. Uh,
Yes. That Smile was a big surprise because it just looked so generic from the trailers. Like, oh, this is gonna be like Truth or Dare
yeah, you're
kind of
right.
movie, but then it was really good.
Yeah. Like from the trailers, I was like, oh god, this looks just like with the smiling faces. I'm like, is this freaking Truth or Dare again?
Mhm.
But no. And the sound design, did you see that in theaters?
Mhm.
Man, the sound design for that film was insane.
Had really good jump scares, actually. I'm not big on jump scares, but
Yeah.
that one had some really good
Oh,
ones.
when she's listening to her headphones and she's, on her laptop,
Oh,
that
like rewinding the
when she's
thing.
playing the audio clip. Oh man, that scene got me, dude. That one
Yeah,
got
same, same. Yeah.
that was like,
Um,
um, yeah. That's one movie I will tell people to avoid the trailers though, because they do kind of give some of
yeah.
what I'm talking about with the sister, when she's walking to the car and stuff like it gives away some of the stuff that's in there. So I would definitely avoid like the trailers for that.
What would you say is like what's like your top 3 horror movies for the year?
Oh man. What else? I'm trying to. So X came out this year, early this year, right? X was like,
I think like March.
yeah. So I would definitely go with X. That's one of my favorite. I haven't seen Pearl yet. I own it, but I haven't watched it yet. I've had so many different movies to watch, and and
Mhm.
like it's been crazy. But yeah, I would say X. I would say Smile, and I'm trying to think of what else. What else came out this year?
Let me
Fire 2.
I mean, I
Pearl.
can I
Um,
can list off some horror movies for you.
you know what's funny? I'll be honest, man. I really did enjoy the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022, even though I know a lot of people
Yeah.
hate.
I
I
don't know
had a
why people hated that. Like I thought it was a decent
yeah,
Texas Chainsaw.
because if you're rooting for Leatherface the whole time, it's a super fun movie. Because there's a lot of unlikable characters in that movie, but if you're just rooting for Leatherface to kill basically everyone in that movie, it's a pretty fun movie. Honestly, it really
Yeah,
is.
it definitely puts the massacre in Texas Chainsaw
You're right.
Massacre more so than any other Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie.
We actually get a massacre with a chainsaw in the film, which is awesome.
Mhm.
So it's like,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, that was a blast. I mean, I had a really good time. People were crapping all over that movie, but I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a pretty fun time because you kind of felt bad for Leatherface. You know what I mean? Like with
Yeah, for
everything.
a little bit there.
Yeah, like at the beginning, because his like his mom, whatever, like mom like figure in the movie, what happens with her and everything in the beginning. It's kind of sad
Yeah.
because the young kids are coming in, taking over the town, like gentrifying it basically, and you kind of feel bad for Leatherface and his kind of mom, like whatever you want
Yeah.
to call it. Yeah, I don't know, I liked it. I thought it was
For
pretty good.
for me, like some of the best ones. I'm just looking at like my letterbox. In my letterbox, I have a ranking of all the movies I've seen this year, which let me see. I'm currently at 97 new releases this year.
Wow, good job, man.
And and so
Awesome.
like my
Ooh,
plan is for on New Year's Eve to like live stream me ranking them all
okay.
from worst to best. But so like some of the best ones just looking off of here, Smiles pretty far up there, Terrifier 2, Black Phone.
Oh,
Um,
Black Phone. I really liked Black Phone.
yeah. Scream is up there. I really liked the new Scream. I really did. Barbarian, Deadstream, Bodies, Bodies, Bodies are all pretty high up there.
I haven't seen
Oh,
Bodies. I heard so many mixed things on that movie. I just was like, I'll
yeah. I'm kind of in a minority on liking it, I guess. And I really liked it too. I think a lot of that is because it's poking fun at like my generation, like people my age and like things that they say or do. And like I know people or have known people that do like the things that the people in that movie do for me it I don't know, it just like felt very like I knew the characters. I don't know if that makes sense, but like I don't know.
Okay, no, I mean, I'll definitely check it out. I still want to see it. I'm just gonna wait for I'll probably catch it like online, or
Streaming. I think it came to streaming. Is it coming stream? I don't know. I heard something about it in
I'm
streaming.
sure it will drop on somewhere Netflix or Amazon or something. I'm sure it will
Yeah.
eventually drop on one of those, and
Yeah.
I'll just catch it, and if I like it, I'll buy it on physical media. So, um,
Also, also like this might give me a little bit of heat here with like horror communities, but X, I liked X, but I'm like honestly kind of shocked that like so many people have it in like best of the year, like best horror film of the year. Like I don't know. Like I just liked the movie. I didn't think it was like life changing, I guess.
I
I
think
don't
that
know.
I've said this a lot of, believe it or not, there are a lot of people that feel like how you feel, because the people like people like just talked about the movie like it's like the next coming of Christ, basically, like it's the greatest thing ever, like, and then they go and they see it and they're like, oh, that was like a good slasher film, that was cool, but
Yeah.
it can't possibly reach the expectations that have been set for the film. So people go in with just these super high expectations, and they're like, "Oh, well, that was good," but I don't know if I would say it was like that great.
Yeah,
It's
it's kind of like Texas Chainsaw, but A24ified.
right, yeah, yeah.
Kind of what I think about
A
it.
lot of those vibes in it for sure.
Yeah.
And I like the characters. I think the characters are all really good in
Yeah.
X. I like the old couple in it. I like, I like that it gets weird too, so it's not like super generic. It does get really weird in certain parts, so I kind of like that because it gives it its own identity in a way. Um, but yeah, no, I get what you're saying. I think it's just because the expectations for that film were just like over the moon, basically. You
Well,
know.
and I don't know if you look at like film stuff on Twitter or whatever, but that's pretty much all my Twitter feed is just like, like film news and whatever. But
Mm.
you get people that are like it's one of two things. Best movie ever made, 5-star masterpiece, worst movie I've ever seen, half star, dumpster fire. Like there's no in between online with like film opinions, it seems like. It's like but there are things can be 3 stars. There's nothing wrong with being a
No,
three.
yeah, you don't have to give everything a 5 star. You don't have to give everything 5 stars. And you don't have to give everything 1 stars. People, I never trust the people that go too high or too low either way. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I like to try to find those like middle reviews, like those middle of the road reviews,
Yeah.
because usually they'll give you like the good and the bad of the film pretty fairly.
Yeah. Which I'm still trying to like figure out how to like not overly like praise stuff and like figure out how to like properly rate things in my mind and like when I like do my reviews, I'm still trying to like figure that out and whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
'Cause- And also like there was like I did like 3 reviews back to back where I gave all the films like 4.5 stars because like I legitimately thought they were all 4.5 stars and in like the back of my head I'm like, am I just like I don't want people to like just like watch my channel and be like, oh, this guy just praises everything. It's like, well, no, it's just I just saw 3 things back to back that happened to all be amazing.
Yeah, no, and sometimes that happens. And man, it's your opinion and it's subjective. You're
Yeah,
speaking for everyone. You're just giving your opinion on the movie. So if you love it, then you love it. You know what I mean?
yeah,
like you're saying, well, I love it, so anyone else who doesn't love it is an idiot. You're just saying,
No, yeah,
and this is, these are the reasons I would give to go check it out, and that's it. You can only speak for yourself, and then you hope that the people watching have maybe like similar tastes, so when you say, oh, I really liked it, then they can be like, oh, well, then I'll probably really like it too, because we kind of vibe in that way, like we have similar tastes. Or if they have opposite tastes to you, then they'll know, like if you love something, then maybe they'll know they'll hate it. So
yeah,
too.
yeah, and like
Yeah,
also like on that, like with my, so I just have my letterbox thing pulled up over here. And I'm just looking
sure.
at it. I've only given one movie this year a 5-star rating, and I've only given two movies this year half a star rating. Like there's
So
so much in between.
what got a 5-star?
Um, for me, Everything Everywhere All at Once. It's the
Oh,
only movie I've given 5 stars this year.
I haven't seen that one yet, but everybody seemed to really like that movie, so I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, yeah, and then the two half stars are actually horror films, surprisingly enough, for the greatest year of horror ever.
Right.
Dash Cam and Jeepers Creepers Reborn. Oh god, those movies suck.
Yeah, I heard bad things about both of those. Definitely, especially Jeepers Creepers Reborn. I heard really bad things about that movie.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. No, not worth it. Not worth it.
Yeah, which is so disappointing too, because the first two Jeepers Creepers are so much fun, so it's kind of a bummer.
Yeah, like all the director stuff aside,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, the first movie is really good. And
Oh,
I
yeah.
was someone that didn't like it the first time I saw it. I just thought it was like, And then I rewatched it because I wanted to see how bad Jeepers Creepers Reborn was. So I watched the first three. And I was actually like, damn, this is actually really good. And then I watched the second one. I'm like, yeah, the second one's fine, creeper stuff. The third one sucked. And I was like, okay, you can't get worse than three. And they did.
Right. Yeah, I know, man. Three was so bad too that it's like I remember watching it and watching like the first like I don't know, maybe 30 minutes of it, and then I was just like, I can't take any more of this movie, and I just turned it off. Like by the end of it, I was like, but like in the first 30 minutes, I was like, I kind of wish he would come and rip my eyes out. So I'm
Yeah.
watching this movie.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't I don't think I finished it. I don't think I ever finished it because it was just so bad. It was shot terribly. It was terribly directed. It had horrible lighting throughout it. It felt, I mean, it really did. It felt like a made for TV movie, which it was. It was made for like
It
what,
just,
Sci-Fi Channel or something.
yeah, just think about like Jeepers Creepers 3 looking like The Godfather once you watch Jeepers Creepers
Right.
Reborn. Like it's like you see like my janky green screen back here, not very good, just randomly set up.
Yeah.
I'm only using my overhead light. I could do better than Jeepers Creepers Reborn right here.
Right.
Like, I don't know if you've heard this yet, but literally, because I hope you never watch this movie. I hope no one who's watching this stream or watches this on playback ever watches this movie. They stab the creeper's eyes out, and then the girl says, "Where'd you get those peepers, bitch?" It's like,
Oh no. Oh my god.
oh my god.
That's
It's, it's so awful. It's like, come on.
what a trash pile. Yeah, I don't even want to waste my time with it, honestly, because it's
It,
just,
it, it, there are not very many movies that are unwatchable. Damn.
yeah, because there's too many good movies to go out and watch, so it's like,
You want me to give you? I'll give you 50 movies right now that you should watch before Jeepers Creepers
yeah, I
Reborn.
mean, I still want to watch, like you said, everything, everywhere, all at once, Pearl. Like I've still got some movies that I got to check out from this year that I heard were just
Yeah.
phenomenal, basically. So,
What are some of your just favorite movies of the year in general?
God, I'm trying. It's so funny. I'm trying to think of what else came out this year that was what did I see in theaters? Because it felt like what are some other movies that came out? Because I feel like I've only seen horror movies here. I don't think I've seen very many other movies. But I saw Scream in theaters. I saw Halloween Ends.
Uh, What about Morbius?
I didn't see I didn't see Morbius. Stayed away. Oh, I saw. Okay, right. So there's the Marvel movies, right? So we got Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness was this year, right?
Yeah.
I thought that was really good. I saw that in the
Yeah.
that was great. Um, and then I saw Spider-Man No Way Home was this year too, right?
Kinda. It came out like last week of December last year, so most of it's
Wait,
like box office stuff.
what was the other Marvel movie to come out this year then?
Thor and Black Panther.
Oh, right. Thor: Love and Thunder was this year too. That's right. Okay. Yeah, Thor:
Yeah.
Love and Thunder. I know everybody hates it or whatever. I didn't. I just took it as more of like it's kind of like a kids action movie. That's really what it is. It's very bright colors, loud like rock and roll music. Just goofy, but I'll be honest, after watching Ragnarok and then going into like Thor: Love and Thunder, to me, they do kind of roll into each other pretty well tonally, for me anyway. Because Thor Ragnarok, when I first saw it, I wasn't a big because I didn't like how they just like willy nilly, spoiler alert for Thor Ragnarok if you haven't seen it, but they just willy nilly just killed off a bunch of characters that were close to Thor.
Yeah.
Really put any thought into it. They just killed them all off, and it's like it just kind of took me out. And then tonally, if you watch Thor Dark World, and then go into Ragnarok, it's a whole different tone. It doesn't even feel like the same universe. It's a completely different movie. But after watching it again and stuff like that, like I do like Thor Ragnarok, but it does take some adjustment. But then watching Thor: Love and Thunder, I thought that rolled right. I thought that felt like the same vibe as Ragnarok. Kind of more lighthearted, fun, jokey action. The rock and roll music, and all that kind of stuff. Like I don't know, it just to me they felt very similar. So I had a good time with Thor: Love and Thunder. I didn't see it in theaters though. I bought it when it came out on physical media, and then I haven't seen Wakanda Forever because it's like 3 hours. You really got to dedicate yourself. I'll probably just watch it when it comes out on physical media too.
Like Avatar. 3 hours and 15 minutes.
Is that the record or was Titanic longer than that? Is that the record for the
Uh,
longest film in theaters?
Let me see.
3 hours and 15 minutes has to be close to the record. That's got to be up there. Avengers Endgame was 3 hours and 2 minutes. I know that.
Yeah. I think Titanic's like 3:30.
Good God.
I just Googled Titanic and then like it's just like, oh, here's the ship. I'm like, I don't want the ship. Yeah, 3 hours, 30 minutes.
Oh my God. Okay, so Titanic probably still has the record then.
What's up with James Cameron and these long movies, man?
Yeah, but yeah, it is another James Cameron movie, so it's like have you seen you did a review for Avatar, didn't you?
Yeah, it was really good.
Okay, yeah, I haven't checked the movie out yet, so I was kind of avoiding reviews and stuff. But you liked it?
Yeah. I I I never I'd seen the first Avatar uh years ago, remembered nothing about it. So I rewatched it pretty much, let's just say for the first time, like a week before this new one came out. So I'm having like nostalgia or anything for it. And I thought it was really good. I don't think it's $3 billion at the box office good, but it is really good. And so going into the second one, I'm like, I don't know. Does Avatar need 15 sequels or whatever it's getting?
Probably
And
not.
so and so I watched the second one and I really enjoyed it. I think I gave them both 4 stars on Letterboxd, 4 out of 5.
Eh,
And I think I prefer the first one slightly over the second one, but I think they're both very good films.
I heard
Yeah.
it's pretty action packed.
The second one?
Yeah, the second one.
Yeah, yeah. Expect the end. The end is the middle
Kind of
lulls a little bit. Yeah.
a bit there.
When they're like learning the way of the water and stuff.
Okay.
But
Another good movie to come out this year, because now I'm just trying to play back in my mind everything that came out this year. The Batman. The Batman was really good. I like that one.
oh yeah, that is it's in my top three of the year. Just put it that way.
Yeah, I thought the Batman was really well done.
Incredible.
Another long movie.
Yeah, how long is the Batman?
I think it's about 3 hours. I think it's like 2 hours and 52 minutes, maybe, or something like that. It's a long,
177 minutes. So
oh,
yeah, like
2 hours and
write
50
it.
minutes. Okay, yeah,
Pretty much write it.
yeah. But that was good. Nice. I like the like it feels like Seven meets Batman.
Mhm.
Detective angle. I like how gritty and real it feels. Really like down to earth. Like what if Batman, because he's just a regular guy. He's just got a lot of money, a lot of resources, and he's heavily trained, by the League of Shadows, which we don't really, we don't get into that in the movie, but he is. And, yeah,
Yeah.
it was cool seeing Batman be a detective for once. Like solving clues, solving the riddles. Kind of letting us play along with it too, like with Batman.
Yeah. They're I love like that um noir mystery feel to like movies
Yes.
um like if I just look at like a list of some of my favorite movies of all time, there's there's just a lot of like mystery movies on there, like Watchmen, Hateful Eight, The Thing is a little bit of like a mystery movie. Just like so many movies like that I love have like this mystery element to it.
Have you ever watched Sin City?
If not,
That's a really good noir comic book type of movie. I think you would like that one. Yeah, check out Sin City. It's got a great cast too, man. The cast is insane.
yeah.
Uh, yeah, definitely. I would check that one out. And have you ever watched Angel Heart? Angel Heart's like like a detective, like another noir, like detective, like horror movie mystery, like that kind of really dark. You're following on this detective as he's solving the case, and it's like very atmospheric. It's the
Mhm.
yeah, Angel Heart with Mickey Rourke. Oh, and and what's funny, funnily enough, Sin City also has Mickey Rourke in it too, and
Yeah.
he's one of my favorite characters in Sin City as well. So yeah, a couple good Mickey Rourke films for you. Some good recommendations there. What were you gonna say?
Oh yeah. Also, didn't you like Halloween Ends? I think I saw that.
Oh yeah, I did. I liked a lot of movies that people did not like this year. I'll be honest. There's like
I'll,
a
hey,
whole
I
list of.
will I will be on that island with you. I actually liked Halloween Ends as
Oh
well.
my god! That's awesome. Okay, so you liked it too. Yeah, we're
Yeah,
on an island all to our
together.
man. Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah, like it's complicated because like I think if it like the story of the movie, you have this guy that is like teetering on the edge of insanity, and then he like meets a mentor serial killer that like pushes him over the edge or whatever, and like the like character drama side of things, like that whole thing, I think that works really well as a movie, but not as a concluding chapter to a trilogy, not as a Halloween movie, not as a Michael Myers movie.
Mhm.
So if they wanted to make that movie, by all means, make that movie, name it something else, remove Michael Myers, Laurie Strode, don't make it that like what it was supposed to be, I guess.
Exactly. Yeah. I feel I
That's like that's the biggest criticism for us. Otherwise, I really like the movie.
no, I'm right there with you. I think if you just remove this is going to be like a Halloween 3 season of the witch, type of thing. Like where it's like if you remove Halloween from the name, from the title, then you can really enjoy the film. If you take Halloween, if you take Halloween 3 out of it and just call it Season of the Witch, then nobody gets mad at you for the movie. And this movie, same thing. Don't call it Halloween Ends, just call it something else, because Michael's just not in it enough, and a lot of people don't like that Michael kind of gets pushed around a little bit and everything and all that. But I like the character of Corey. Corey, right? Corey.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I liked his character. I thought they did a great job of, because I was worried because I heard that they were introducing this Corey character, and I'm like, dude, you guys didn't out at all. I mean, are you really going to be able to tell a compelling story with this character in like an hour and 45 minutes? And they do it. They really do it. They tell a very compelling story with Corey, and I feel for his character. I thought they did a great job. It's just right. It probably doesn't belong in the Halloween franchise, but I thought it was a really fun movie. I mean, I enjoy, especially that opening. Man,
Oh yeah, with the kid, yeah.
oh my god, dude, that had me right from that point on. I was like completely invested because I'm like, okay, these guys are like, they're going for it now. This is just this is crazy. So yeah,
Oh,
no, I really enjoyed Halloween Ends. I thought, like I said, I thought they fleshed him out really well. I thought it had some good kills, but they did cut away from a lot of the kills in that movie. If you go back and watch Halloween Ends, look how many times they cut away from kills. Like,
yeah, it's the least gory of that trilogy.
yeah, and I don't know if that was just a choice that they decided to make because they were kind of making a little bit of a different type of movie. So I don't know, or if they were trying to make it a little less violent, but they still show you the aftermath of the kill, so it's still pretty violent.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's interesting. There's some good kills, but a lot of them you see later on. But dude,
Also,
the blowtorch scene.
oh,
Grab the blowtorch scene. Oh my god.
yeah. Also, like,
Maybe we'll get an unrated cut to this movie, like we did with Kills.
yeah, like on the Blu-ray.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
Also, like, my opinions on the Halloween franchise are pretty whack as is, so I don't know. I kind of like just like accept that like my take on Halloween Ends isn't be a hot take. Like, I have guilty pleasure with Halloween Resurrection. Like, it is like it's a horrible movie, but I can watch it and have so much fun with it.
What about, do you like Curse of Michael Myers?
No, that's my least favorite Halloween movie.
Oh, Curse is your least favorite? I do.
Yeah.
I like the theatrical cut of Curse. I'm not as big of a fan of the producer's cut.
I've never watched the producer's cut. I really want to. That's like something that I want.
Get the Scream Factory 4K for it. You got to get the box set though. You got to get like the whole, like, you got to get. But you like Resurrection, so Resurrection's in there, and Halloween H2O's in there. So
yeah, I like H2O. It's like, and you want to hear a really hot take?
Uh-oh.
I like 2018 more than 78. It's my favorite one, 18.
Oh wow! Did you do a video on these yet?
Yeah, I did a Halloween ranking when Ends came out.
Oh, you did do the whole franchise? Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, I love a good ranking video. Wow, that's so 2018 is your favorite of all time.
Yeah, my favorite Halloween.
Wow, that's crazy, man. That's
yeah,
crazy.
I know it's like so unpopular.
I like it though.
Anything,
I like a hot,
anything above
I like
78.
hot takes like that, man. I think that's cool. I know some, but Bob, who was in here earlier.
Yeah.
Blu-rays. He actually, his favorite is Halloween H2O. He loves Halloween H2O. I also love Halloween H2O. It's like probably 3 or 4 for me, but yeah, that's his favorite. So like, dude, don't be afraid. I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah, and like I love Season of the Witch as well. Like that's
me too. Yeah.
It's like, sorry, I don't know. Halloween 2018 for me, the way I describe it, it's like my comfort horror movie. It's like if I just want to watch a horror movie, I don't know what I'm in the mood for. I just pick Halloween 2018. I just like grab it and slap it on. Like I don't know. I can't really describe why it's my comfort horror movie. It just is for me.
No, I'm right. Or actually, you know what? I'm sorry. I might be Bob. Bob. He did a Bob's Blu-rays. He did a ranking as well. It may have, maybe it wasn't. It was H2O. Was, I think, either it was his favorite. I think actually may have been Rob Zombie's first Halloween. That was
Mm.
pretty sure that was like high on his list. That made my favorite. I know H2O and Rob Zombie's Halloween were both very like high on his list. He really likes those. So that's a hot take too, man. 'Cause not a lot of people like Rob Zombie's Halloween films either. You know, that's
A lot of people just don't like Rob Zombie's films in general.
yeah, true. Yeah, you know, and I'm not a big fan. I'm not a big fan of the Rob Zombie Halloweens, but to be fair, I've only seen each of them once, so I want to go back and revisit them and see if I feel the same way. And then I'll probably do a ranking. But I want to give each of those movies one more watch before I like judge them. You know what I mean? Because I saw them both in theaters when they first came out, and they were just so like, you know, the whole beginning of the first one, you know, with the kitchen scene, so over the top, everything is just so. And then, you know, you're kind of giving Michael a background and a reason for why he does what he does. And I just didn't like that. I just didn't like that whole redneck angle at the beginning, you know, that whole.
Yeah, yeah. Some people have called it like the country fried Michael Myers or something like
Yeah,
that.
but I will say what I liked about it though. Um, I thought that Tyler Mane did an excellent job at playing Michael Myers. He's kind of like we were talking about with
Derek Mears.
Derek Mears as Jason. Man, Tyler Mane as Michael Myers is like he's not screwing around at all, dude. He's just out to kill you, and he's like 6'8", 6'9", or something crazy tall. So when he's
Yeah, like
throwing people
he's
around,
like the scariest Myers.
he is. He is the scariest Myers. So I think the second half of Rob Zombie's Halloween is so much better than the first half. I like the second half. And then Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, I'll have to rewatch it because I know it gets into like a lot of weird stuff. So I'll have to rewatch
I
it. You know?
I'm not really a fan of Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, but I think that's like one of those movies that gets like overhated too, where people
Yeah,
just like, make it out to be like this eye bleeding thing. It's like, I can show you movies that'll make your eyes bleed. It's not Rob Zombie's Halloween 2.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know, man. Everybody has different tastes though. Like, you know, um, you know, I mean, like I said, I put H2O pretty high up there. Resurrection I watched again because the 4K came out, and I mean, it's a fun enough watch. It's not one of those movies that it's like, oh, I just can't even watch Resurrection. It's like, no, I can watch it. I mean, it's still Michael Myers just going around killing people. You get some pretty good kills in the movie too. Like,
Yeah, it's just
yeah.
there's just like so many things that I
And
don't know. It's
I
just
like
Resurrection.
I like how it's directed where, you know, you have a lot of those like POV shots, like the found
Mhm.
style because they're all wearing, you know, the things on their head, the webcams and all that stuff. So they're recording everything. So you get a lot of that style, kind of like found footage style in Halloween Resurrection, which looks really cool. So you get some good kills, you get some interesting direction, and I think Michael looks. I think the mask looks cool. I don't mind it. You know, he looks pretty sinister in it. But the final girl, I think, is the worst part about that movie. She's really bland. I just don't like the final girl in there at all. She's
Yeah,
pretty.
and well, Buster Rhymes.
Yeah, Buster Rhymes is pretty. Yeah, he's pretty over the top too. And you know, he kind of like punks out Michael a little too much. You know, pushing Michael around and stuff like that. You can't do that in a Halloween movie. You can't make that.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, yeah. Um,
But yeah, I mean, but Halloween 2018, man, that's an excellent. I really like Halloween 2018 a lot too. 1978 is still my favorite Halloween. You know, I know it's a boring ass answer, but I still, Halloween 1978. I love Halloween 2. Halloween 4. Like those are all at the top of my list. I love those movies. And I do like the Curse of Michael Myers, the theatrical cut. But Halloween 2018's got, dude, the music, John Carpenter coming back to do the score is like phenomenal.
James Jude Courtney's my favorite Myers, and the mask in that.
James Jude Courtney is excellent as Michael Myers. God, he's so good. All of his movements are just like perfect. And the mask,
It's got like the best kills.
oh man, that bathroom scene, which kind of reminded me of Rob Zombie's Halloween movie, actually. Because you got a similar scene in Rob Zombie's Halloween, like where
with Joe Grizzly, bitch.
Right, yeah, exactly. He's like, he's pushing that guy around and all that stuff, and I think that's how he gets the jumpsuit, right?
Yeah.
And then in Halloween 2018, he kills that lady and he kills the guy, and he's just bashing the dude's head against the bathroom stall door and everything. It's brutal. I mean, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna wrap up the stream for us today.
Hey, man, I just want to say thank you for having me on, man. I really appreciate
it.
I hope
of course. I hope we introduce people to Black Christmas. It's so underrated.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, I hope people watch it. Like, oh, I'm gonna go check out Black Christmas 1974. Give it a watch. Definitely.
So, Anthony, what do you have coming up on your channel if you have anything planned?
Oh, you know what? Actually, so my buddy Brad over at the 4K Tent Revival, his channel, we've been doing this series called what the F is this? The F is this is the name of it. And we basically discuss just horror movies that are just really weird, strange out there, like Titan. We discuss Crimes of the Future, David Cronenberg's Crimes of the Future. We discussed we did our Christmas special one for Eyes Wide Shut, Stanley Kubrick's Eyes Wide Shut. And we did one for Batman v Superman too, because that's those movies that people just don't really fully understand the whole Martha scene and all that kind of stuff. So we basically break down those movies. We and they're live streams too, so people come and interact with us in the comment section. And it's just a lot of fun. You can break it down with us. We just go through scene by scene basically, and we stop and we just talk about it, give our thoughts on it, and try to figure it out as we go. The next one we're doing is Us, Jordan Peele's Us.
Oh,
I believe my Brad actually texted me during this live stream and he asked me if Wednesday was good for me, which it is, so we'll probably end up doing that on Wednesday. And we usually try to do them around like anywhere from like 8 to 9 p.m. we start it, and then it usually goes for like a couple hours, sometimes a little over that. And we just have a fun time breaking down the movies. But yeah, we're gonna do Jordan Peele's Us, so that I'll post it in the community. Around 8 to 9 p.m. somewhere around there, I'm guessing. So yeah, come on my channel, I just do a lot of movie haul videos, and I do I unbox like figures, NECA figures. I did one for the Charred Chucky that came out from NECA, and just stuff like that. Just fun, just that's about it, man.
Yeah. As far as for me, I'm probably gonna review The Whale this week, the Brendan Fraser movie. I'm seeing that tomorrow, so probably review it on Wednesday. And then next week is all the fun end of year lists like top 10 best, worst, most surprising, the most anticipated for next year. All that fun stuff is next week. So next week's the busy week.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But yeah,
Then you have
not
a lot of great reviews, man. You do the ranking videos. I love a good ranking video.
yes.
So that's always
Those ranking videos, they take a lot because I like rewatching all the franchises before I do it.
yeah.
So some of those take a while. But I don't know how many of those I'm gonna do next year because just for the amount of time they take, because I like rewatching things. But who knows? I guess I'll decide that when the time
Yeah,
comes.
yeah, but they're fun ranking videos and tier lists and all that. Those are definitely fun. You know, I enjoy watching those. I think a lot of people do because they're just fun.
Yeah.
It's interesting seeing how people feel about your favorite franchises: Friday the 13th, Halloween, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Nightmare on Elm Street, Scream, Child's Play.
Mhm.
You can go on and on with them.
Mhm. Yeah. All right. So yeah, thanks for everyone for tuning in. Make sure you check out Anthony's channel. I'm pretty sure I have it linked in the description. If not, I'll get on that so you can check out his awesome channel.
Thanks, man.
Hopefully, we will have Anthony on again someday because
Oh,
this is
absolutely.
really fun. Yeah.
Come on again, man.
Yeah. So have a great night, everyone, and I'll see you next time.
See you guys.